So I'm excited to talk to you guys today about week 2 of the VIP process, which is Meet the Family. So last week, and we'll be going over this all month, like just kind of re-dipping this process. So last week we started with week 1, texting your students. And then my encouragement to you guys is as we go through this month and as we just re-dip on this and you guys just focus on this, that it's just that we approach this process not as a checklist, right? But we really understand on how critical it is to get our students assimilated to our community, and just really it's a process to bring students to Jesus, right? It's really that important. And God has brought us these students to us and has entrusted us as shepherds, right? So we should just relentlessly pursue them on their path to finding Jesus. So Meet the Family. All right, so just a quick recap of what that is. So you have a student, you texted them last week, and then they're walking in the door for week 2. You see them. So what should that look like, right? What I like to do is pause and just think, what would Jesus do in that situation? Like, right? If Jesus was here today, what would Jesus do? And I just picture him like on the other side of the room, right? And he sees you and he's like, Ben! What's up, dude? What's up? Come on. Come here. Hey, I want to introduce you to my friends. I couldn't remember exactly. I was talking to Margo about this. I couldn't remember exactly what part, but I swear in The Chosen, in the first season, Jesus is one. It's either one of the disciples or maybe Mary, and he's like, let me introduce you to my friends, right? So I just see he would be so super intentional about that. And if you look in Romans 15, so in verse 5, in the NIV version, it says, may the God who gives you endurance and encouragement give you the same attitude of mind towards each other that Christ Jesus had. And then if you look, I love this, if you look at the Message version, and then you go down to verse 7, if my phone doesn't freeze here. All right, where's it at here? I'm having issues with my phone because my screen broke and I'm cheap and I don't want to get a new phone. Margo's definitely not cheap. She said go buy a new phone if you need it. I'm just kidding. Basically, yeah, I'll just go through. Basically, in the Message version, in verse 7, you guys can look it up. It basically says that we should welcome one another and we should do it. It says Jesus did it and you should do it. I love like that. It basically says those exact words. Jesus did it and you should do it. And that's really how we should approach when we have somebody here. You should, and Meet the Family, take them around, introduce them to the worship team, introduce them to the production booth back there, right? Pastor Ben, Pastor Alyssa, me, Aubrey, Mariah, anybody that you see, really you want to make them feel at home. And I know some of you are sitting here and you're like, okay, I get it. I understand the process. I understand what we're supposed to do. But does it really matter though? I mean, they're kids. Like they're going to walk around. They're going to make friends eventually, you would think, right? I mean, does it really matter? So here's what I would say to that. Everybody's been at a party, right? Where you might have been invited. It might be a work party, holiday party, and you don't know anybody there, right? And you're just like, you like walk in and you're like, oh my goodness, right? How is this going to go? And it's just awkward, right? So imagine how intimidating this place could be for some students. Some of them may be new to church. Some of them may be from a small church, different denominations. They walk in this door. It could be intimidating. And we also know that as you're walking, the enemy knows that the student's walking in here, that God has pointed them to us. The enemy knows that too, right? So maybe in their head they're thinking, this is stupid. Nobody likes me. I shouldn't even be here. I should just go the other way. Nobody here would even notice if I stood in a corner. And our job, really, is to smack the devil upside the head and say, watch this. We're going to show you how we do community here. We're going to show you how much we love this person. And we want them to be connected, right, to our small groups. So it's all about relationships. We want them to feel that type of connection so that we could take them along their spiritual journey. And we want that to just really, that type of relational, that type of connection, we want that to really rub off in their relationship with Jesus, right? And that's our job as leaders. So the call to action that I have for you guys with Meet the Family today. So I looked. Anybody want to guess how many students do we have that are at this step, that are here, that are on the Saturday team? Anybody guess number? 4? No, there's 7. So we have 7 students that may or may not be here today, right? But there's 7 students that are on that step, right? So my call to action to you guys is, if you haven't already look at your clipboard, look in Telegram, know who those students are. Come expecting that student. And then I'm also going to say, I'm going to go a little backwards here. Sorry, Mariah. But if you're a leader here and you're like, you know what? Now that I heard this, I'm thinking, I dropped the ball a couple weeks ago, right? Or maybe I could have done a better job. Who cares? Take them to meet the family today. If they're on step 4, if they're on week 4 for prayer and coffee, while you're doing prayer and coffee, let's meet the family too, right? That's my challenge. Go back and let's re-dip there. And I want to see a ton of people just walking around, meeting, super relational, and just make these students feel very, very important today. You guys with me?